I'd like to welcome you guys back. So I wanted to pose a question, and I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section. Basically, I got into an argument with a friend of mine yesterday on WhatsApp, and it got so heated that he left the group. Yeah, that's how heated it got. But don't worry, he's back on now after we worked out our differences. Basically, it went like this. He does not believe that if somebody is begging, they deserve to go on vacation. I'll tell you the story and we'll take it from there, and I'll explain why I beg to differ. So what happened was that in the mid-90s, there was a lady who used to sit in front of a well-known kosher restaurant in Brooklyn begging. And he was much younger then, as was I. We grew up together. And what happened was that his mom, who used to give money to this lady who begged for money, she once overheard her telling her friend that she just got back from Florida. And she was very disappointed at the fact that this lady who's begging went on vacation and she never gave her money again. And also, she shared the story with her family. And it made an impression ever since, to the point where now, something like almost 30 years later, he expressed the story with distraught. And I said, I don't agree. I'm sorry, I left out a piece. What was disturbing was that his mother spoke to the owner of the restaurant, and he said, "Yep, you should know that I offered a job, and she did not take the job. Probably minimum wage, working by the oven." She said, "Why would I slave by the oven when I could make so much more money just sitting in front begging?" Now, I don't agree. First of all, the way my brain works is that I break down things into pieces, and one thing, if it's irrelevant of the other, shouldn't play a part in how you make a decision. Meaning that I don't see why the fact that she was offered a different job has any effect on the fact that she should or shouldn't decide to beg. Because honestly, who wants to work in an oven for minimum wage and slave away just so that they can feel good about what they're doing when they can make more money, give an easier life to their family and to themselves, be outside, enjoy the different weathers or whatever it is. Additionally, everybody deserves a vacation. In fact, I remember growing up that the first teacher to ever have an influence on me was this rabbi. One time when I was in 6th grade, I wasn't feeling well, so he let me put my head down during class. And then by recess, I just assumed he wasn't going to let me go out because, that was the way in those days to make sure that the kid wasn't tricking, was that they knew that if they said they didn't feel well, they didn't go to recess. And he said, "What are you doing? You got to go out, get fresh air. That's what you need to do when you're sick." So I understood this man had an understanding of love and giving in a time a little bit before psychology was so prevalent, and I loved him for it. And I thought it was an amazing thing, and it really made an impression that I remember that until today. But why do I bring this up? Because whether I was sick or I wasn't sick, whether I was faking or I wasn't, I deserved to go to recess. And I feel the same way, whether a person is working, isn't working, is doing what you think they should do because you gave them $1, that's another thing. Once you give money to somebody, it's theirs. You can't feel like you have any holdover on them, or else you're really not getting the entire concept of charity. I mean, I'm not judging, my friend's actions when he does or doesn't give charity, but I'm saying that for me, once I give somebody money, that's it. If they go straight to the liquor store, that's fine. They can do whatever they want. And if you can't, grasp that, then in my opinion, you're not grasping the full concept of charity. It's not your money anymore. You're giving to someone else. You're trusting their choices, but to judge their choices And the next thing is that we don't know her childhood. We don't know her upbringing. It's very easy for somebody to say, oh, they chose the easier way out. How would you like to beg? Let's say you, the audience, I'm speaking to you right now. Let's say you're a multimillionaire. Let's say you're a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, super successful. You're judging someone whose life you have not lived. So how can you know? Maybe they had it hard, maybe they tried, maybe they didn't. It doesn't matter. You give the dollar, you don't give the dollar. You don't hold over on someone else. Everybody has a right to go to recess. Everybody has a right to go to Florida. And if upon discovering that the person went to Florida, you get so turned off, and then you do that thing where it becomes like a family discussion, which in my humble opinion is the quickest way of speaking slander, which is a huge sin, is in family. It's like, oh, it's okay if I only tell my wife. Oh, it's okay if I only tell my kids. That's exactly the strongest, most powerful level of slander. If you can hold back from saying something bad to the closest people in your life, now you're practicing abstaining from speaking slander about people, which is a massive sin. Now, if you're going to bring something like that up in a WhatsApp group, I'm certainly going to give my opinion. I just thought that I would share this because I would love to hear your opinions, because I know that this is very based on the way my mind works and my experiences. And maybe somebody out there could, back me. Maybe somebody out there could disagree and make a good argument that I didn't think of. Maybe I'm not right. I'm not 100% sure I'm right. Pretty sure I'm right. Now, the last thing I want to say, and I want to say this at the end of the video, is that I would really love if you subscribe, because the analytics tool is telling me that only a couple of percent of people that are watching are subscribing, which means that I'm flattered. People are interested, they're watching, but people aren't subscribing. And I'm willing to make a deal that if every single person who watches my video subscribes, I would have thousands and thousands of viewers. The more viewers you have, the easier it is to get more viewers. And I promise you, I won't hold it against you if once I have a ton of viewers, if you unsubscribed. So anyways, this was my opinion. I would love feedback. What do you think? I would really, really love to hear. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful weekend, regardless of the storm that's coming.